In my last video, we have discussed how to start with computer programming, and as I have told you that here we are going to discuss different programming paradigm and development paradigm. Paradigm. What is paradigm? Paradigm word itself explains everything. It is a geek word which means pattern. It is a series of steps which takes us to our desired destination. Basically, we can say there are some defined or design steps that are common to each pattern and help us to create a real world object or write a program or develop application. As you can see, there are basically two types of paradigm in programming world which are basically being used. The first one is programming paradigm, the second one is development paradigm. So now we will try to understand what is a programming paradigm. Programming paradigm which helps us to develop a program which could be used by a system, means computer, or human being. As I have already given you some basic idea about the high level language and the low level language, here we will try to understand in a bit detail. What is machine level language programming? This one is the oldest programming pattern and a low level programming language. As you know, this is the language that is nearer to the computer system and far from the human being. Human being can't understand the machine level language. Like here I have given an example. I have written 11001000000011. This is in machine language and written in a bit pattern which can't be understood by human being, but computer machine can understand this bit pattern. It could be anything like hi, how are you? Hi, I am Rohit. But we cannot understand. This can be only understood by computers or the machines. The second one, assembly level language. Assembly language programming paradigms. This is the another language of the high level low level programming language. It is also consists of set of instructions which is easily understandable by computer, like machine level language programming. However, the programs are basically written in assembly level language in our general English words, like add a comma b. If you want to pass an instruction to add a and b, we can write add a comma b. The second one is subtraction, sub c comma b. What we want to do? We want to subtract c from b. So as you can see, these are written in English words, so human being can understand, but these are the mid-level language between high and low. So written in English, but computer can easily understand this language. So assembly language is also a high-level language. Now come to the structural or procedural programming language. This is the first programming language which comes in low-level language, and while we can say it is a low-level language because this is the first programming language which emphasizes on the structure, so human being can easily interact with programs at any point of time and can easily understand what these instructions are and what can be done with these instructions. This is the first low-level language. This language is also hard to maintain because the code lengths are too much lengthy, and we have a class in which we have written several lines of code. The lines of code could be 10,000, could be 20,000. So as I said, in this programming language we emphasize on the structure. So what we have done, we have defined we have started writing some structure or some functions. But for an example, just imagine if there are 10,000 lines of code written in a class or in a structure. If we have divided in 4 parts, now we have 2,500 lines of code in each function or in each structure. Is it maintainable? No, I don't think so. It is also hard to understand, hard to maintain. So we have in structural or procedural programming language, we have defined some keyword like global keyword. We have everywhere global, global A, global B, global C. So we can use these keywords or use these variables in our program at any point of time. We have emphasized on the structure, but we haven't taken care of the data kind of thing. And this is the main thing why the latest one which we are using at this time, object-oriented programming language, comes into the existence here. So we have discussed the procedural programming language. Here is an example of procedural programming language. We have got some sequence, selection and iteration logic in this programming language, which help us to achieve our goals, but still too much far from the real world. As you can see, if we have to provide a conditional language, we can write if condition then any kind of module in any lines of codes, else module B and end of structure. These all are written in simple English language, so human being can understand, but it is not interacting with the real world kind of thing. So that's why object oriented programming comes into the existence. Now we will try to understand what the object oriented programming. This one is the latest one and most organized programming technique. We have seen there are several gaps in procedural programming language. To overcome these gaps, the object oriented programming language comes in existence, and I found that as the procedural programming language is not interacting with the real world and not emphasizing on the data, that is the main reason why object oriented programming comes into the feature. So once in these days we interact with our client or we interact with our end users, they only emphasize on the data because they want to secure their data. Once we develop any program, we need to maintain the number of employees, we need to maintain the records of employees, we need to maintain their accounts. These all are the data, and what we do work on the data, we secure these data. So this is the main benefit in object oriented programming. Suppose our client asks us that we need a program that will maintain our inventory system. So what we have done, we have developed an inventory management system. What we do there, we write some classes, like if our client says that we have employees working in our shop, so what we do, we write a class employee. When he says that we pay our employee, we pay salary to our employee, what we do, we write a salary class, we write a payment class. Okay, when he say that how they can understand that he is an employee, so he want to say that Amit is my employee, Rohit is employee. What is this? This is the name. So what we do, we create some objects in our classes like public string name, public string email ID, public integer contact number. These are the objects inside the class. So what we are doing, we are interacting with the real world. Once our client says that I have employee in my company, then we create an employee class. How do we identify our employee? We won't say we will identify our employee with his email ID or with his employee ID. What we do, we create a name object, or we create an email ID, or we create an employee ID object in our classes. So these are the benefits of object oriented programming, and we are interacting with the real world. Here is an example, like I have said class user. We have created a object in that particular we have created a variable in that particular class, private string name, public bool payment, which has two parameters, money A and a string name. So we will discuss the object oriented programming in detail in our coming tutorials. Now some basic idea about the development programming paradigm. What is development programming paradigm? We have several kind of development models, software development models. You can say software development life cycles. Some of the life cycles are waterfall model, V-shaped model, iterative model, spiral model, Big Bang model. These are some development life cycles. We can say these are the development paradigm also. So there are some basic common steps in all these paradigms. What are those? We first do some requirement analysis, then we do the design, in which we define the functional design diagram, low level diagram, high level diagram. These all things comes under the design. Then we start coding and development kind of thing. Then what? Once the development ends, we start unit testing. We do some kind of black box testing, different kind of testing team, automation testing. These all things we perform under the testing phase. Then what happens? Then the release comes into the existence. We release the software, and then support comes. So these are the some basic steps. We will go through these all the development paradigm in our next tutorial in detail. So wait till. And conclusion. Here comes a conclusion. So what we have discussed till, we got some basic idea about the programming paradigm and the development paradigm. However, I have just named the development paradigm. We will discuss this in details in our next tutorial. So any queries or comments are welcome and appreciated. If you have any doubt, please write it in put it in here in comment. I will love to answer. And please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell sign. You will get the notification of latest video. Thanks. If you want to write us, then please write us on tutoriallive@gmail.com, or you can visit our blog for detail, that is tutoriallive.com. Thanks for today.